Led House Oversight Committee now releasing a report accusing the outgoing D.C. police chief of manipulating data to artificially lower crime statistics.
Welcome back, folks. You're not going to believe what I'm about to show you. Unless, of course, you've been with this channel for a while or follow me over on X, then it's probably not shocking at all. We now have rock-solid confirmation that the totally not a DEI hire DC police chief Pamela Smith has been straight-up falsifying crime stats in order to prop up that popular Democrat Party left-wing media narrative that crime in DC has been plummeting.
Not this time.
Led House Oversight Committee now releasing a report accusing the outgoing D.C. police chief of manipulating data to artificially lower crime statistics. Bill Malusian looking at the numbers. He's live on the Hill with this. Bill, what you find out?
Bill, good morning to you. Those House Oversight Committee Republicans say the bottom line of what their investigation found is that the outgoing D.C. police chief was essentially cooking the books on crime data and trying to make the city seem a whole lot safer than it really was. Now, those House Republicans say what their investigation consisted of was interviewing all 7 commanders of D.C. Metro Police's patrol districts, including a former commander who is currently suspended for allegedly tampering with crime stats in his own district. And these are some of the conclusions they've made in their report. They allege that D.C. Metro Police Chief Pamela Smith pressured commanders to report lower crime stats by any means necessary. The commanders testified that Chief Smith even pushed them to pursue lesser charges that aren't publicly reported, even for serious crimes, and she required certain crimes to be reviewed by her office. Now, the report also says police commanders testified that Chief Smith punished them and retaliated against them if they tried to report accurate rising crime data, even berating them in meetings and individually to pressure them into reporting those lower crime figures. Now, in a statement on the report, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says in part, quote, Chief Pamela Smith coerced staff to report artificially low crime data and cultivated a culture of fear to achieve her agenda.
Everything is a manufactured lie pumped out by Democrat Party state media to benefit their party's power.
President saying the move is needed to deal with what he says it is an unacceptably high crime rate. But the mayor of Washington, D.C. and D.C.'s own police statistics appear to tell a different story.
The president has claimed there's a crime emergency unfurling here, but the mayor says this is unnecessary and that crime has been plummeting.
The president also declaring a crime emergency at our nation's capital as they ordered the federal takeover of the D.C. police force, even though the city's mayor says violent crime is at a 30-year low.
He did also talk about this D.C. crime, which we should note is down.
That is some bullshit. The lies. There you go. This bitch. The lies.
All right. And moments ago, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro here in Washington, D.C., responding to allegations the D.C. crime data was manipulated by the outgoing police chief, Pamela Smith. That claim coming from a new House Oversight Committee report. Our congressional correspondent Bill Malusian with the latest on Capitol Hill. Bill?
Well, John, Republicans on the House Oversight Committee say their investigation concluded that this outgoing D.C. police chief was trying to make the city seem a whole lot safer than it really was, and she was doing it by allegedly cooking the books on crime statistics. So the Republicans on the committee say their investigation consisted of interviewing 7 different D.C. Metro police commanders who represent all of the patrol districts out here. That included a former commander who's currently suspended for allegedly tampering with crime stats in his own district. And these are some of the conclusions they've made in their report. Number 1, they allege that D.C. Metro Police Chief Pamela Smith pressured commanders to report lower crime stats by any means necessary. Commanders testified that Chief Smith pushed them to pursue lesser charges that aren't publicly reported, even for serious crimes, and she also required certain crimes to be reviewed by her office. In a statement on this report, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says in part, quote, Chief Pamela Smith coerced staff to report artificially low crime data and cultivated a culture of fear to achieve her agenda. Chief Smith's decision to mislead the public by manipulating crime stats is dangerous and undermines trust in both local leadership and law enforcement. Meanwhile, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser was asked to respond to the House Oversight Committee Republicans' findings earlier this morning. Take a listen.
I don't see any evidence of that. If the claim is, and I don't think anybody has demonstrated that the police chief directed anybody to change numbers. When the committee provides me their backup information, which they haven't, when the committee provided the report to the Washington Post before they provided it to us, highly unusual when you're talking about an audit of numbers.
And John, just moments ago, the U.S. Attorney here in D.C., Jeanine Pirro, responded to this report. She put out a statement on X, which essentially says that, yes, these crime stats were manipulated, and the manipulation of that data shows that President Trump has reduced crime here in D.C. a whole lot more than initially thought. She went on to say that what happened here with the crime stats does not rise to the level of any criminal charges or a crime, but that the D.C. Police Department has to change their practices moving forward.
That is some bullshit.
Seriously though, there is no doubt in my mind that this stat fudging is happening nationwide, especially when it comes to burying the real story on the insanely high crime rates of black men and boys. Why in the hell are these clearly non-white suspects getting logged in as white in official reports? And it's odd that ever since the right started pointing out these crime stats, that police and the FBI have been trying to cover up the reality. We see this same playbook carry out every time there's a shooting or a terror attack that doesn't involve a straight up white right-wing male.
In the wake of a recent spike of anti-Asian violence and with little evidence, many have begun to point to a divide between black and Asian Americans as the real issue facing our communities, instead of naming the true culprit, white supremacy.
They bend over backwards to obfuscate, mislabel, or bury details. Take the horrendous recent mass shootings in Australia, for example. Muslim perps with a hatred for Jews, which typically are allies of the left wing. Yet the authorities and media are quick to slap the right-wing label on the shooters.
General Avasia has warned about a range of threats, be it anti-Semitism, the rise of right-wing extremist groups as well.
That is one big pile of shit.
Same crap's been happening here in the US, like with the Pulse nightclub shooting. All right, folks, I know I probably missed some examples, but I wanted to quickly get this video out. If you can think of any or have other thoughts, make sure to leave them in the comments. And if you made it this long, might as well hit that like button and subscribe. I do post on a regular basis, so make sure to keep checking back for more. Thanks a lot.